The 6th generation Mercedes E-Class Coupe is sleeker and more stylish than ever, but this time around dials up the desirability, aiming to offer a slightly larger, more sophisticated and arguably more prestigious approach to executive coupe motoring than obvious competitors. It does so with a more efficient engine for the volume version, plus astonishing technology and comfort that makes you question the need for a larger, more expensive, full luxury segment coupe model.
With this 6th generation E-Class Coupe, Mercedes has made greater efforts to differentiate the driving experience from that of the Saloon. So the track is wider at the front and the rear than it was in the previous generation model, and there's a 15mm lower ride height. Both are changes intended to make this car feel more planted through the corners, and that might also see you noticing the slightly stiffer damping. In addition, the variable ratio steering has been sharpened a little in comparison to the setup used in the Saloon, and that's an attempt to make it feel more direct. It isn't quite enough to make this car feel as responsive as pricier versions of slightly smaller coupes like the BMW 4 Series and the Audi A5. There is more body lean and there's less steering feel than you get in cars of that kind. Still, spec'd correctly, this E-Class Coupe can still be quite rewarding to drive, and through fast-flowing bends, it has as fine a chassis balance as you could wish for. And of course, for high-speed motorway mileage, this car feels peerlessly refined and relaxed. Under the bonnet, most buyers will choose the engine we're trying here, the completely new 2-litre, 194 bhp, 4-cylinder diesel power plant that features in the entry-level E220D variant. It's still not quite as refined as we'd ideally like, but it is a responsive and efficient unit capable of 61.4 mpg on the combined cycle and 119 grams per kilometre of CO2. Hardly anyone is likely to choose the petrol-powered 4-cylinder alternative, the 2-litre turbocharged 245 bhp E300 model, and that's only offered in standard rear-driven form. There may, though, be quite a lot of interest in trading up to one of the V6 versions, both only offered in 4MATIC guise. There are two options at this level, the 258 bhp E350D diesel and the 333 bhp E400 petrol model. In both cases, you get, as standard, the air body control air suspension system that is optional on the 4-cylinder derivatives. This setup can be fine-tuned via the various settings of the dynamic select driving mode system, which influences throttle response, steering feedback, and the reactions of the standard silky smooth 9G-tronic plus 9-speed automatic gearbox that all E-Class Coupe models have to have. For half a century, there's been a mid-range coupe in the Mercedes lineup, and this stylish 6th generation E-Class Coupe is likely to remain longer in the memory than most. The most elegant touch is one we particularly like, the pillarless side profile that references the Mercedes W114-8 of 1968, the coupe that's recognised as the originator of this model line. The absence of this central bar, together with the frameless window design, means that with everything opened up like this, you get this wonderful sense of airy freedom that on the move is further enhanced if you've also selected the optional panoramic glass sunroof. Time to take a seat inside, at which point Mercedes' now traditional belt buckler hands you your seatbelt over your shoulder on an extending arm. A nice little touch that really sets the tone for this car. Take a look around and you'll find that, as expected, apart from a few extra trimming panels, the basic architecture of this cabin is shared with the E-Class Saloon, the only really unique difference being these more distinctive air vents. There are no fewer than 4 of them here in the centre of the fascia, all with styling that is supposed to echo the look of a turbine engine. The other main cabin talking point is this double screen instrument panel, which is standard on the 6-cylinder models but optional on 4-cylinder variants like this one. It combines a 12.3-inch virtual instrument display with a second centre dash command online monitor of the same size. Both screens fit into a single frame. Time to take a seat in the rear. Now, once you are in the back, there are certainly signs of improvement over what went before. The 113mm increase in wheelbase does indeed translate into extra stretching space. There's 74mm more knee room, plus thanks to 74mm of extra body width, there's 34mm more space for your shoulders. So finally, let's check out boot space. Now, do you expect that the 6th generation model's 123mm of extra body length would have provided for a larger boot this time around? Now actually, when you lift the lid, we've got the optional power assistance here, you find that the reverse is true, there being actually 25 litres less than there was before, the total now being 425 litres. Now, should you want to carry longer items, the split folding rear seat has two outer larger sections and a narrow middle portion that's ideal for pushing through skis or golf clubs. So, how to sum up? Well, in driving this car and in owning it, you feel another more elegant level away from owners of the brand's less aspirational C-Class Coupe, and a cut above the sporting two-door models of that car competes with, coupes like BMW's 4 Series and Audi's A5. There's a maturity and a class here that those sporty rivals lack. I mean, they could never be considered as a wise and cost-efficient alternative to spending £30,000 to £40,000 more on a Maserati Gran Turismo or a BMW 8 Series. This Mercedes could be. And that just about sums it up.